Welcome back to another episode of Great Lakes Post live stream. I'm Casey Campbell. Thank you for tuning in. We have a very special guest today. Let's see who it is. It's Michael Self from the Arca Menard series, the driver of the number 25 Sinclair Toyota for Venturini Motorsports, as they, of course, head to Talladega this weekend. Hello, Michael.
Casey, how's it going?
It is going. Well, after 4 months of no racing since Phoenix, we're back racing again as we head to Talladega. One of your favorite tracks. You won earlier this year on Daytona. But what's it like to be back, and what's it like to go back to a track like Talladega?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's been a long break, that's for sure. I think this is the longest I've gone without being at a racetrack in some time. So really looking forward to getting back out there, really looking forward to just being back at the track with the crew guys, with everyone at Venturini Motorsports, and definitely looking forward to having the opportunity just to drive again and to do something that I really enjoy. Talladega it has been a good track for me. I'm not sure if it's one of my favorite tracks. It's always stressful to race at the super speedways, but have fortunately had some success there. And looking at it going in there, we know it's a race that we kind of just have to get through. You got to stay safe there and stay smart and try and bring everything home in one piece as much as possible. So we've been able to do that for the most part at these super speedways. Knock on wood. We just got to stay smart and not get too anxious or impatient here, and try and do the same thing again this weekend.
What do you always like about super speedway racing? I know you won earlier this year at Daytona, but what do you like about just racing around at Daytona and Talladega?
It's cool to race at those places because they're unique, and they're just the style of it's a little bit different. It kind of brings on a different style of thinking and navigating the traffic, navigating the air. Definitely a little bit of a different strategy that you go into those races with. But I'd be lying if I said they weren't stressful. Those are definitely the most stressful races that we go to, because there's so much that's out of your control as a driver. You're kind of at the mercy of others around you, and all it takes is something small to ruin a day. So that's kind of always, at least in the back of my head, at those places. But when you go there, Venturini Motorsports has a pretty good track record on the super speedways. My crew chief Kevin Reed has won Daytona 4 times. Talladega is just one that's kind of eluded us. So we go to these places knowing that we've got good cars, we've got a good program. We just got to figure out how we're gonna finish one of these off at Talladega and get Venturini that first win there.
All right. Coming up, we'll talk about what it's like to have a driver and a sponsor. As you can see, the dinosaur on his head. We'll explain that when we come back. You're watching Great Lakes Post live stream.
Is that beautiful? And then you're gonna have the
Is your money not sure what to do with itself? At Ally, we'll help it save for the future with our smart savings tools. For all things money, you deserve an ally.
And we're back. Michael Self joins us. So Michael, before the break, we talked about, your sponsor Sinclair, as many people recognize, and, it's been as older generations, people remember the Sinclair gas stations and the dinosaurs, and one of the most recognizable brands as, people growing up. Well, what's that like to be partnered with a brand like that?
It's been pretty awesome. From the first time that we debuted the Sinclair car back at Kansas in 2016, that's what you just said. That's been the majority of the feedback that we've received. It's a very nostalgic brand. A lot of people remember from when Sinclair was national and when they had stores covering everywhere. You hear a lot of people that were around in the 40s and 50s and early 60s that say, hey, I remember when Sinclair was in my hometown. Or it seems like everyone has a Sinclair story about maybe someone in the family owned a station or worked at a station. People remember going to the gas stations and getting the small plastic dinosaurs that they used to have there. And I'd say still, probably every weekend, no matter what track we go to, I get approached or someone with a crew shirt on gets approached from someone, whether it be a fan or a track worker that has one of those stories. So that's been really cool. And to see Sinclair continue their support of me and of racing and grow these last couple of years, giving me the opportunity to race full time and expand on their investment in racing has been really, really special to see. They are a growing brand, and they're trying to get back to that national presence and trying to get some more stations opened up. And through all of this that's been going on here recently, oil has been hit especially hard, and they've continued to support us and to support our program. They've continued to keep a lot of people employed as essential workers, and so definitely my hat's off to them. It's just incredible to have such a strong, a powerful partner like that's willing to do that and willing to stay on board through everything, and one that's just so committed. It's really special. I'm very, very fortunate to have Sinclair on board.
Venturini Motorsports, you came there, I think, in 2015, 2016. What was it like to race with that team? The quintessentially, not to brag, but the premier team of the ARCA Menard Series.
Well, so to correct you a little bit, my first races back in ARCA when I ran in 2016 at Kansas, that was with MDM Motorsports.
Cool.
Then the next year in 2017, I kind of ran a split schedule with a handful of races with MDM and a handful of races with Mason Mitchell Motorsports. And Kevin Reed was over at Mason's at the time, and Kevin and I really, really developed a strong relationship. And the next year, 2018 is when he made the switch over to Venturini Motorsports, and really, really prodded me along to come with him. I've known Billy for a long time, had the chance to work with them back, 2014 a little bit, kind of when I first dabbled in ARCA, and always have had a ton of respect for the Venturini family and their program. And so when the opportunity came up for me to go over there with Kevin, that was, sorry, got a call coming in.
You're good.
It was good. It was good for me to find a place where I could fit in. And then another cool thing that kind of paired along with that was the Venturini family has actually a little bit of a history with Sinclair. Tony Venturini, I believe it was, owned a Sinclair station in Chicago back in, I want to say it was in the 50s. And so that was cool to kind of bring that story together, add a little bit of something else there. And then obviously their program has really excelled the last couple of years. You see the on-track performance, what multiple drivers have come through and done there. There's not a weekend that we go to the track right now where we would question the equipment or question the notes that we have, because you've just got such an established group of guys and just so many resources there. It's really nice and comforting to feel like we're going to the track with the best capabilities every single weekend.
Yeah, I know you wanted that ARCA championship last year. You and Christian Eckes were battling that out. Is this the year that you get it done, you think?
I hope so. We're only 2 races in, but things have started off strong so far. Win at Daytona was big. Even finishing second after kind of a crazy day at Phoenix was really big. It's so early. We've just got to continue doing our job for the next couple races and kind of go with the hand that we're dealt here. We know we're going to Talladega this weekend, and we know we're going to Pocono the next weekend. We know Kansas and Kentucky are now on the schedule, but there's still a lot that's up in the air. So as of right now, I don't think the big picture is something that I'm really honing in on. Obviously, yes, I think we're very capable of going and winning the championship. I think Kevin and I work really well together. I think we've got a lot of good chemistry. I've got all the confidence in the world in the cars that are coming to the track, but we've just got to figure out where and when we're going to race and start getting a couple of these races under our belt and get the momentum back, and then start focusing on that a little bit more.
I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't ask about Kentucky being on the schedule. That was just announced today. We just talked about it before the show started. Your reaction to Kentucky being replaced Charlotte being replaced by Kentucky.
Yeah, so it was disappointing for me to lose Charlotte. That's a race that I always have circled. It's one that's kind of eluded me. Last year, dominated the race, led 85 laps or whatever it was. We had a little bit of a mechanical issue along with a mistake made by me, and that we still got a top 5 finish there, but didn't come away with the win. Charlotte is a really fun track, and it's a very tough track. It's very technical in terms of the intermediates. It's probably the most difficult track that we go to, but I love it for that reason. I have a lot of fun racing at Charlotte, and it's just one that I want to conquer and one that I really had circled on my list this year that I was looking forward to getting back to. So definitely disappointed to lose that one. But Kentucky's a great track. I raced the Xfinity car back there in 2015 after they had just repaved it. It was also a very technical track, very slick, kind of tough to get a balance on. And, it's cool to see ARCA going back somewhere. They haven't raced in a little while. It'll be kind of something that's fresh, I think, for whoever races there, unless you've got some of the Xfinity or truck guys that have run there more consistently. There's not going to be people with a whole lot of experience there. It'll be something that's kind of new for us. So we'll go in and it'll be something new. Obviously, Venturini guys have raced there a bunch. They've got a big notebook for Kentucky. Do my job and watch some video and take as many notes as I can to be prepared for it.
All right. Coming up, we'll talk about some things that you may not know about Michael Self. We'll be right back. Or miscalculations or something.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
What is this thing?
The Roxor.
Ain't no turn signals.
No traffic where this goes.
Ain't no plastic.
Nope. Box steel frame, too.
Woo-wee, that's pretty. No nav TV screen.
It's up there.
Ain't got no license plate.
Ain't street legal. That's the best part.
If you're looking for unmatched capability and industrial strength durability, it all starts here for under 16 grand.
Ain't no toy, huh?
Nope.
I think so. And we're back. Michael Self joins us. So, Michael, ARCA racing is not the only thing that you do. You also have a school that you run, or an instructor as well. What do you do with that?
Yeah, so I've been instructing for a long time for a variety of schools, and now I own my own business. It's just me that focuses on instructing and some data analysis stuff. But started instructing in 2000, must have been 2008, out at what was Miller Motorsports Park at the time, the Ford Racing School out there. I got the opportunity to work with their program, road racing side of it, as well as the off-roading school there. And from there, I actually was fortunate enough to branch out and work as an ambassador for a bunch of different brands through them. I got to work with Michelin, BF Goodrich, Ford, a lot of different partners that were with the school. And I really enjoyed doing that. I always really liked sharing my passion of driving and my passion of racing with other people, especially people that have never really had the opportunity to. And I was pretty fortunate as an instructor to have success there at the schools and to kind of get some interest from other people in the professional racing world. And so when I moved to North Carolina in 2014, I got involved with some kids racing in the K&N series. I worked quite a bit with Kaz Gralla, quite a bit with Justin Haley. A number of young guys. I worked with Rico Abreu a little bit when he was coming through, and then kind of transferred over to really focusing on the road course side. So I stay primarily to the Trans Am series now. I work with the Mike Cope racing team, and basically the majority of the drivers that come through his program. And through that, we have a lot of the Toyota guys come through. So I've worked with Christopher Bell quite a bit, Brandon Jones a whole bunch, Harrison Burton, Matt Tiff, Tyler Reddick, a lot of guys that have come through the Mike Cope racing stable, and have been fortunate to race with some of the guys that are stars in the Xfinity and Cup series now, and continue to do so. Actually, the next 2 days I'm headed up to VIR for a test up there with, again, some of the Toyota guys, and teaching in that series and working with those guys is something that's a lot of fun for me. It's a good way for me to keep my mind on road racing, something that I'm really passionate about, kind of keep fresh and relevant on that, and to really enjoy going to some of the best road courses in the country and enjoy the weekends.
You're also a student as well. You're at UNC Greensboro, and I remember when you were on the Zoom call last week, when you were on the ARCA Zoom call last week, you talked about you going to school and you're actually on track to graduate next spring.
Yeah. Yep. So actually, just this week, finished up my first summer semester. Getting ready to start my next summer semester. I think. Let me look at my notes. I think that's next week. Coming up here next week. Second summer semester will start, and then I'll be taking a little bit of a lighter load in the fall. Just anticipating travel's going to pick up a little bit, but on schedule right now to finish with my bachelor's degree in spring of 2021 with a degree in business administration, and then working on a minor in a couple things, IT as well as finance. So trying to pull all that stuff together, and I will be glad when that's over, but really psyched to be pursuing that and to be so close to finishing that degree.
What's it going to take to get the big win at Talladega?
You got to survive. you gotta make it through all the carnage, and you gotta just be patient and put yourself in the best position that you can, and have good pit stops, keep the car clean. That's what it takes at the super speedways. Just stay clean and be patient, and minimize the mistakes.
Right, Michael. Thank you so much for coming on, and we wish you luck at Talladega, and of course you can watch the ARCA Menard Series race at 1 p.m. on Saturday on FS1. Michael, thanks again for coming on, and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me, and hopefully everyone tunes in.
And I would like to thank all of you for tuning into our Great Lakes Post live stream. I'm Casey Campbell. We'll see you next time.